Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my 27 to 28 week pregnancy update. So I am currently 28 weeks on the dot. And I'm just gonna fill you guys in on everything that's been going on and symptoms and stuff like that. But I thought first what I would do is give you a little bit of a life update as well, if you've been following along with what's been going on over here. So last week we had my sister's wedding and it turned out beautiful. The kids were so good. Ellie especially, she blew me away, and I guess I should have had more faith in her, because she tends to do that. Like, it's like she senses when something is important. And she was just so good, and she was so fun, and she made the day really like light and fun, and oh my god, she was adorable in her outfit. And Jake too, he was pretty good. He was a bit whiny and he wanted to be kind of running around, wasn't very happy being held, but that's typical of a 1-year-old. So yeah, we did that. Just before that, I don't think I've mentioned this on YouTube, but I definitely have on Instagram. Was it the day before we left? I think it was the day before we left for the wedding. I was home alone with Jake, and he was sitting in one of our kitchen chairs, which was a new thing at the time that we are not doing anymore. He was sitting in one of our kitchen chairs. I was like arm's length away, and he turned to look at me and was kind of like being cheeky and laughing with me, and he stood up and I guess put his weight on the back of the chair, and the chair tipped and I couldn't catch him, and his face hit the floor, and we have tile floor. So as soon as I picked him up, there was blood. I could already see that one of his front teeth were chipped, and I was just hysterical, like bawling my eyes out. And I just kept saying to him, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And then I didn't want to call my husband because he's a truck driver, you know, so you don't want to. I knew it wasn't life and death, but if I call him like, oh my god, like it's not good for him driving a truck. So I called my mom and told her what happened, and we decided that it was the best idea to call the dentist, even though from what I've read, like, there's not really much they can do, blah blah blah. But I thought, like, I'd just rather see what they say. So I called the dentist. The woman on the phone was so sweet. She's like, this happens every day, we see this, like, you're okay, just like take a few deep breaths and you can come right in. So I got him in the car. By that point he had calmed down, but he was pretty upset before that. Got him in the car, took him to the dentist. He did really well at the dentist. I'd already given him Panadol by this point, so I think it had maybe already kicked in. And she said that his teeth, they were definitely, one was chipped and the other one we think had I don't know what the word would be, but like it had been pushed a little bit back up into his gum, which is not good. And she said they didn't feel wobbly, which was important, and she couldn't see any exposed nerves. But then she also said you don't really know what's going to happen for up to 6 months. So like an infection can happen later and everything like that. But so the update on that is, as of yesterday when he was in the bath, I really noticed that not the one that's chipped, but the other one is starting to turn gray. So I'm so sad about it and I feel so guilty about it. But she said that that could happen, and that's not necessarily the end of the world. It just means that the tooth is dying. What you really need to worry about is infection, which we haven't seen any sign of. So it doesn't mean the tooth needs to come out or anything. It might change color, it might come back. And then the other tooth is chipped. But he was fine. Like, from the next day, he was fine. He was eating and drinking. He started like taking his dummy normally. And yeah, so it was a lot. It was very upsetting as a mom. I'm sure most people can understand. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing, but there's just, everything's relative, and seeing your child in pain, especially when you feel like you could have prevented it, is just, it's just the worst feeling. Not to mention I have a bit of a phobia when it comes to like my teeth and dentists and stuff. Like I've had a pretty, knock on wood, nothing in the last year, but a pretty like rough go with my teeth. So just the thought, like my husband was like, well, touch his teeth and see if they're loose. And I'm like, I can't. Like just stuff like that just gives me like major anxiety. So the fact that I handled it on my own, heavily pregnant, I was kind of proud of myself. That might sound silly, but I find stuff like that really makes me really anxious. So anyway, that's the life update. Everything is good. My parents are still here and will be here for a while. Queensland's doing okay in terms of COVID. We've got a few new cases, but everything has pretty much stayed the same, other than the borders are closed to people from other states, which doesn't really affect us. Okay, so pregnancy. So I'm 28 weeks. Like how insane is that? That means, well, to most people that means I'm in my 3rd trimester now, which is wild. I feel like I haven't even processed the fact that we're gonna have a 3rd baby. But you never really process it, do you, until the baby's here? It's never real until they're here. But they're definitely in there. I say they because we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, moving around a ton, especially early in the morning and late at night. Sometimes like a lot, like more than I remember with Jacob, I would say. Just like kicking up a storm in there. You can probably tell from this video, one of the major symptoms is I am quite winded. I've always had that in pregnancy. Yeah, I don't think it's something to be like overly concerned about. I'm obviously not the healthiest person in terms of my weight and things like that, but the baby just puts pressure on your lungs. That's just how it is. And getting ready for these videos just kind of takes it out of me. So symptoms, I'm winded all the time, like within a couple steps of walking, I'm winded. I'm still getting the dizziness and sort of queasiness if I do too much physical activity, but that really changes day to day. Like the day of the wedding for my sister, I don't know if it was adrenaline or what, but it was one of those days, you know, when you forget you're pregnant. And I was just like running up and down the stairs, and I was like helping my sister, and I was helping the kids, and I got everybody bathed, and like I felt like I really had a hold on it. And then even at the end of the night, I was okay. I didn't feel that bad. But the next day, like halfway through the next day, I felt like literally like I'd been hit by a bus. Like I felt so bad. So every day kind of changes. But then I also think it was like, that was me coming into the 3rd trimester. So if you've been pregnant before, you'll know this, but they often say the 2nd trimester is like the honeymoon. So it's really hard at the beginning, and then it's sort of everything, like your hormones sort of even out, and you tend to have more energy. And I definitely felt better the last few weeks, maybe even, so I would say from like week maybe 15 to like 26 or 27, like last week. I was feeling great, getting a lot done, feeling really just good and normal, and taking myself to the grocery store and doing like basic things again. But I think now, I think that's over, and I think I'm definitely in the 3rd trimester. So what tends to happen, I guess, is your hormones start to kind of rage again because they're preparing for childbirth, and a lot of those symptoms kind of come back. So luckily the I would say mentally I'm still in a really good place. Like I can feel the physical symptoms and not dwell on them, and have the like mental the hard mental feelings that go along with feeling unwell. I can sort of like separate the two, whereas early pregnancy I can't. The indigestion and like acid reflux, that's better. That was worse in the second trimester. That's gotten better. What else? I'm still getting like Charlie horses and leg cramps pretty often through the night, so that's kind of annoying. I'm still sleeping well, which I'm so grateful for. I was the same with Ellie. Like I literally still, and I don't know if this is bad, but my doctor says as long as you're comfortable, you can't really be hurting the baby. I still wake up and I'm sleeping completely on my stomach, like flat on my stomach. So I don't know if that's, I don't know, but I'm still comfortable like that. It's weird. I do have, I've said this a few times before, but my placenta is anterior. It's on the outside. So maybe, I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I do wake up in the night and have that really bad, like, round ligament pain, like on my lower stomach when I turn from side to side, and it's like, oh, it's bad. And then I've also been having, like last night, I almost for a minute thought that maybe I was like going into preterm labor because I was having really kind of intense Braxton Hicks contractions, which in my other two pregnancies, I never really knew what they were. And clearly I never really knew how to differentiate, because when I had Jacob, like by the time I got to the hospital, I had been in labor for hours and I didn't realize. It was like I kept waiting for something to be worse. And I just didn't think it was actual labor. But last night I was getting these tightenings and they were coming like often and lasting a long time. But I was reading and none of the pain was in my back or even inside, like a period pain, which is what real contractions feel like. It was just like a real tightening on the outside of my stomach. And it was kind of freaking me out. But I just rolled with it and I'm not feeling it today. So obviously everything's fine. What else has been going on? My skin's still pretty okay, which is nice and makes me think maybe I'm having a boy. And what else? The dryness I was describing in my last video, I guess it's getting a bit better. Like the humidifier that I showed you guys is certainly helping. Yeah, it's really helping. What else? I think that might be it. I didn't make notes this time. I just like to sit down and talk. Maybe I should make notes. Oh, okay, so in terms of like doctor's appointments, I haven't had anything in a while. It's so different with COVID because I guess they don't want you to come in unless you like really need to. So I had a midwife appointment, I think between the last two times I've spoken to you. I have to have a glucose intolerance test again. It sucks. I'm so mad about it. And I said to her, I'm like, do I have to do it? Because I've heard so many people just don't do it. And she said, well, with you being high risk with the blood pressure, like you really should. So I have to do it again 2 times. I assumed like when I had it done early that was like the protocol for high risk patients, that you just have to do it early, but it's like, no, you have to do it early and at the time that everybody else does it. So I have that scheduled on Monday. I'm just dreading it. It's just it just sucks. It really sucks. I don't feel that, like I'll feel that sick. It's just like sitting around for 2 hours just kills me. Like it's such a waste of time. I'll likely sit in my car. Maybe I'll be prepared this time. I'll bring headphones and I'll watch something on my phone. So I've got that. And then I don't have another ultrasound until 32 weeks, which I guess isn't even really that far, is it? It's 4 weeks away. And then I have another one at 36 and then I'll be induced at 38. So I'm really hoping nothing happens before then. I don't know, part of me feels like, I know everybody says this, but I never felt this with my other two. For some reason, I feel like this baby's gonna come early. And of course I don't want that. Nobody wants to be like in the NICU and stuff, but I don't know, for some reason I just get this feeling that I'm not going to get to 38 weeks. But let's hope. Let's hope. So I guess I'll leave you guys with that. I don't really have any products to show you because nothing, I don't really have anything, but I've definitely started shopping like for the baby. So over the last week, I guess it's like my nesting urge. I was just like, okay, it's time to start buying stuff. Not that I needed all that much, but like things for my hospital bag and like postpartum necessities. So I'm really excited to film like a what's in my hospital bag and newborn must-haves and postpartum must-haves, because I'd like to think this is my third. Like I know what you need and I know what you don't. And there's certain things that I've found that just make life so much easier. So I can't wait to do those videos for you. And that's it. We're gonna go this weekend and test drive a car because we need a bigger car that holds 3 car seats. So we're looking at a Kia Carnival, which is a minivan, but it's cool. Like, it's really nice looking. I was totally against a minivan. I really was like, no, I need an SUV because minivans are like lame. But when I saw this van, like, it's really, really nice. Like, super, has all the like gadgets, and it's a nice vehicle. And I need to be able to comfortably fit 3 car seats. Australians don't tend to drive big cars like North Americans do, you know, like we don't have, I mean, maybe we do, but I don't see people driving, like in Toronto, like, you know, like an Escalade or those big Range Rovers or Land Rovers, like big cars like that. Not to mention, where we live is pretty populated and we drive on the other side of the road. So I'm not comfortable driving like a massive car like that. I probably will make it one day without hitting someone in a parking lot. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Maybe I'll vlog and show you guys looking at new cars. That's kind of fun. Okay, I'm definitely blabbering now. But I hope you guys like this video. I hope you keep watching. Again, I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but I'm still really having fun with it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I will have a wedding vlog coming soon. Bye.